evening and welcome to Tinkering with Atkelar. After two rather big projects in a row, it is time for a smaller project this time. A model kit of Leonardo da Vinci's aerial screw. The kit comes with laser cut parts ready to glue, doing a bit of knolling first to get an overview. The parts are what I would call raw cut, as in the outlines are still burned from the laser and the package shows it assembled as is. But however advanced good old Leonardo was, I don't really think he had access to a laser cutter, so that has to go, without taking off too much. Sanding, sanding, and even more sanding. I decided to paint the wood too, make it a bit darker than straight from the kit. I really get some good mileage from that bottle of wood stain. The base plates were a bit warped, so while they are wet from the stain, I clamped them together to even them out. And even more sanding. Whoopsie, that part was too delicate. Oh well, one more glue joint isn't going to hurt much. And some more sanding to smooth out the surface after the stain has dried. Here I glue up the broken part, just to make sure that I don't mess it up during the assembly. Following the instructions, I now start with the base plate. The kit comes with some wood glue, but I have my own preferred brand. In order to get the shaft into a proper vertical position, I used my brand new 123 blocks. The rotating part is a bit flimsy to glue together. I did not want to glue it on the shaft, but holding 6 parts aligned while 8 glue spots dry was beyond my pause. I came up with a nifty way of keeping things together. Roll up a piece of plastic inside. Works like a spring and keeps the struts aligned against the rings. The next step was to glue in the anchors for the rigging and the handles for the crank. And then we have some struts to connect one of the rings to the base. The braces for the screw on top are also a bit flimsy, and they have to be connected in the right order. Since these connect from the outside, I shimmed the rings with some plastic to prevent them from sticking to the shaft and added a rubber band to keep them tight. The frame for the fabric is up next, clamping it with clothespins, cause every other clamp I have is just too heavy. Again, these semi-rings come in a particular order and the middle one needed some trimming. Now that everything is glued, I applied some clear coat. Almost done. The cloth is up next. The three-dimensional nature of the shape made it a bit difficult to get right without any creases, but after a bit of stitching with some nice thread, I got it into shape pretty well. I think originally you're supposed to glue it, but I like the look of the stitched version much better. The last step is to add the rigging. The kit provides some nice thread for this purpose. And here we go, one aerial screw. I hope you enjoyed this little build. See you next time! Good evening and welcome to Clogged Up Nose with Edkalar.